Hi boys and girls, and welcome back to lesson 5 of STEM for term 2 2020. I can't believe we are already halfway through the term and halfway through our design technologies unit. I'm so excited that you're all joining me today and hope that you've been participating in our lessons and completing the activities. I know that for the students I've heard from, they are having an awesome time working with our plant life cycles unit, and I hope that everyone at home is also having a great time doing that. Boys and girls, we know that our subject of STEM covers science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and we can use all 4 of those skills to assist us with different projects and understanding and learning different topics. And today we're going to do exactly that to start with our lesson. We're going to be using both our science and our mathematics skills to help us with our first activity this week. Over the last week, you should have been completing that table, monitoring the different growth of your plant at home. And you should have seen, hopefully, some difference in your height measurements that you've been collecting. I know for those plants I've been observing with some students here at school, we've been able to see different growth every single day as we've been collecting those. So we're going to use that data we've collected and some of our math skills, and we're actually going to create a plot line graph today. If you don't know what one of those is, I'm going to put an example up here beside me, and we're going to use that to track the height growth of our plant, because we want to be able to see how rapidly or how slowly our plant is growing. So for instance, I've got my original little tomato plant here in my designed see-through planter box that I built the other week. And I know based on my measurements, this plant is growing pretty slowly. He's not getting very big very fast at all. However, some of the other plants that we planted in class, such as the alfalfa sprouts we planted, are growing very quickly. They are very rapidly taking up space in their container. And we can see that very clearly based on the graphs that we've been making to monitor that change. So how does this information help us? Once you've finished drawing up your graph, you're going to be able to clearly see how fast your plant is growing. And we're going to be able to use that to inform the next step in our STEM process. Because our design technologies isn't about creating one thing and saying we're done. Sometimes we need to come back and reevaluate and work out that if that solution is still sustainable in the future. So you're going to make a decision informed by the information on your graph this week. If your graph is showing you that your plant has only grown a little bit and is only growing very slowly, then you might make the decision just to keep collecting data and monitoring the plant from here on out. However, if your plant is growing quite rapidly and is taking up a lot of space in your planter, this is the time where you might make that informed decision to go and build another one. To build a slightly bigger see-through planter box using some other see-through materials so that you can continue to monitor the plant's growth both above the soil and below the soil. Because if we're trapping it in a small container, it might not have the room to continue to grow. And we want to be able to continue to observe what's happening and also reap the rewards of anything we planted that might flower or might create some fruits or vegetables for us. So that is your task for this week. The very first thing you're going to do is use the data you've collected on your table to come up with a graph. Again, I'm going to put an example up here, and there will also be an example printed in your lesson pack if you have that at home this week, or if you have access to that on OneNote or via an email from a teacher. Once you have created your graph, you're then going to decide on one of 2 options. The first one is to simply continue to monitor your plant if you don't think it's very big yet. Or the second option is to create that second planter, see-through planter, so that you're able to continue to let your plant grow and monitor its progress along the lines. I can't wait to hear all about what you have chosen to do and what decision you made informed by that graph. If you're able to keep that piece of paper safe, I would encourage you to do so. If you're able to get me a copy either via email or via the OneNote, I would love to see it. Otherwise, I'd love to see it in person when you're back at school soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, boys and girls. I can't wait to hear all about your experience growing your plants this term. Thanks, bye.